Good morning to you all. Daniel Miller here. How's everybody doing today? It's sunny, warm, proper summery Sunday here in our local area, London suburbs in the UK. I welcome you all to our Destiny world yet again. Our Destiny world today is in Destiny 1. And as you've seen already during the week, we've gone back to Destiny 1 for one reason alone, and that is the news coming out of Bungie on Monday. On Tuesday, was it Monday? I can't even remember. It was either Monday or Tuesday, and we got to know about all the novelties, all the introductions, everything that will be unraveling before us in September. One of those things is obviously the DCV, something that really concerns us a bit. Some of the content from Destiny New Light is going to be shelved and placed in so-called Destiny Content Vault, and the vault will start in September. 4 planets will be gone with all activities associated. All of them are PvE activities, and tons of new content will come in. All of that is going to be based on RPG. Role-playing content with lots of dialogue, lots of new characters, and also the idea is to bring Destiny 1 story and Destiny New Light together into one evolving world. So Destiny 1 story missions will be migrating to Destiny New Light, i.e. Destiny 2, the sequel. It's going to be no longer the sequel, it's going to be one big Destiny universe. And the story missions are going to be remastered and tailored, obviously, for all the activities in New Light. So we're very excited about this, we're really looking forward to it. And most importantly, what we are curious about is how they are going to be blending in on the story front, the narrative, because so far in Destiny 1 we've had non-linear narrative. What does this mean, non-linear narrative? It means that you're telling the story which is not really following its development chronologically. You can do different missions at different times, you can combine the activities with strikes and with the Crucible PvP as well as patrols, and you're not exclusively focused on what's happening in this world. I think Bungie realised that there is that much that one can complete or do with that sort of concept, and certainly in recent months there were lots of complaints about the most recent seasons and the content, and they felt that perhaps just flogging certain activity in order to get an emblem or weapon is no longer attractive for the majority of the community members, so they have to come up with something. And I mean, quite frankly, just like in any game or like any television series and a film, new content is what is needed, and the content needs to be cohesive. It will need to have its story, it will have its activities. But I talked recently about this to some of the colleagues. If you're familiar with film or cinema history, you will remember when they started with musicals, right? Musicals came to the screen for one reason alone: the invention of the sound. Film began to talk, right? And the idea was you throw in a lot of puns, a lot of wisecracks from theatre, first of all, a lot of dialogue. So people go to cinema to watch this dialogue, to hear people speak, and they will enjoy wisecracks, they will be laughing. And so if you watch films from the early 30s, or even still, I'd say from early to mid 30s, comedies in particular, maybe even to the late 30s, the quantity of dialogue is phenomenal, and the speed to which it's delivered is completely unnatural compared to the way people talked at that time in their local community, right? It was blending in perfectly with the story. So the dialogue was based on everything that was happening to the characters. It was blending in perfectly, so it was funny, but it was story based. The next thing was the musicals. Musicals were brought in from Broadway, with lavish costumes and pretty girls and all kinds of funny activities on the screen, beautifully choreographed, later on obviously delivered in colour. And musical was bringing in music, right? Choreography, dance. The key area there was whether the dance and singing was going to be blending in with the story perfectly. So, to put it simply, the music had to be complementing the story and following it, not the other way around, right? There had to be a merger of the activity between the story and between the dancing. So some of the best films of the early 30s, like for instance Gold Diggers from 1933, will have that perfect blend. You will feel that the music sequences are actually telling you something about the environment, and they're following the story. The worst musicals were the ones where it was completely disjointed, and I've seen quite a few of those. In fact, I watched recently I watched a film I'd never seen before with Bing Crosby and with Carole Lombard, and it's happening like on a desert island after a big ship, big cruiser sank, and the film is dreadful. I mean, it's just unwatchable, because it was basically, the idea was, I guess, conceived. They have two stars, Lombard and Bing Crosby, and you do everything around them. So whatever you do in that film is going to be just complementing the fact that Lombard is beautiful and lavish, and Crosby is a good singer. The story is nonsensical. It's just completely unwatchable. Right. So why am I telling you this? If you think about it, musicals and comedies of that era had to have a strong story-based content, and music and singing and dancing and wisecracks, they had to be incorporated properly. That is the difficulty that the open world of Destiny is presently having, and it's strongly felt. I mean, I feel it. A lot of activities I've done in the sequel felt disjointed from the actual story. We've heard that this Warmind or Rasputin or Osiris or somebody else out there didn't feel like it was really gelling with the story, and that is the task for the development team for many, many months and years to come. I'm sure that the climate in the industry changed, because initially, when they started, they were very worried that Destiny would resemble Mass Effect. Mass Effect was already on its third installment at the time when Destiny came out. It was on its, they were preparing the third installment when Destiny was conceived, and they were really very carefully monitoring at Bungie whether it was a good idea to do something very similar in concept. And they actually prepared, I don't know whether you know this, they prepared the whole game in a linear fashion. So you follow the story chronologically. You couldn't really progress forward before you finished the story missions, you'd done the campaign, and then literally at the last minute before the game was released, in view of the Mass Effect 3 release, they sort of considered, well, people may well get cold feet. They'll say it's too similar to BioWare, and we really want it to be different to Halo as well, because Destiny is the extension of Halo, really, generically. And they changed the whole thing, so I had to rework the whole game from scratch, which caused a major upheaval in the team. Lots of people from that team left, and in fact, once the game was released, it turned out that the approach was ingenious. It brought in many more viewers, it was embraced, albeit in the first year everyone thought the game had perhaps somewhat slim content, but the year 2 and the expansions, particularly the Taken King, brought in the overhaul, and Destiny 1 became what it is today. And we love it, we are all dedicated to it, and I played Destiny, extensively. We've had about 1,500 hours of Destiny here on my channel. Perhaps if we combine Destiny 1 and 2, we're talking about probably 2,000 hours during the last couple of years. And if there's one thing that for me is missing, it's actually the story content or the strong RPG content. And I'm really looking forward to all that September is going to bring us. I think, considering the development team and their presentation early in the week, we got to know a lot about the current work and the approach they're taking. I'm personally in two minds about Destiny content world, because we, the Destiny veterans, we kind of like going through the motion of revisiting missions. I'll write to Bungie. I mean, I first of all don't know what they will do with the content, because the vault indicates it's not erased, it's just sitting there and can be brought back. But the question is in what form and where. Maybe they'll set up another server that's going to be catering for this. Do you know what I mean? It's like Destiny chapters, Destiny history or something like that, and you access that separately from the actual server that's hosting the entire world. There are obviously various possibilities, but I would actually encourage all of our Destiny veterans and gamers first of all to go to bungie.net, right? So you watch the trailers, watch the vidocs that the team presented, and after that read all the information given to us by the game director and the game producer, that's Mr. Noseworthy, and now his name escapes me, the director of Destiny, and basically read all the information that told us everything in depth. Or just watch the presentations, about 45 minutes long. When you watch it, at the end of it, right, gather your thoughts and take a pick, whether you like what is said or whether you have some concerns. Either way, write to them. So write to Bungie. Write to them directly through bungie.net or post some tweets. And most importantly, go to Reddit. Reddit is the forum where the developers are carefully monitoring what people are saying, because Reddit is a messaging forum where the hardcore participants, people who are dedicated gamers, exchange their thoughts and views with other like-minded souls. So don't have any nonsense in that. It's literally a forum where professionals communicate, and obviously people who belong to our community. So send a message in there if you're concerned about Destiny Content Vault. If you want to ask more questions, ask more questions. They will provide you with some answers, and they will see that the community is responding with a degree of interaction that is indeed engaging with the plan. It's much better to be engaging early than late, because if they launch it and it backfires, it's of a serious, it will be of serious consequences for Bungie. So definitely remember that. Watch everything, read everything that's been released during the week, and then respond to Bungie with your thoughts. If you think it's amazing, tell them so. If you think it's terrible, tell them so. And that's the way to do it, right? So that's the reason behind us doing Destiny literally from scratch, from ground up, as we'd say, or ground zero. And as you know, on PlayStation I have all of my characters 4400, they're maxed out. We've done all of the activities and everything but one raid, and that's to do with my internet connection. And we had restarted Destiny now literally from the bottom up. So we started with that character, really level 1, and we are going up the ladder. So you can see level 19 reached, 99 light. I even forgot how challenging Destiny can be if you're starting out from the very beginning, because I've done 6 runs on Destiny on the PlayStation, and that was just once starting from nil, and that was on a Warlock. Otherwise I imported weapons from Warlock to Hunter and Titan, and also in addition to that I had 2 other separate runs on story missions done in a chronological order. Everyone enjoyed it, everyone loved it, and so it's 6 runs on Destiny, and you'd expect that I know everything about it, but actually doing the 7th run reminded me of the fact that I know very little as far as the story is concerned. So really I talked to the veterans what the reason for that is, and I personally think it's to do with the fact the story is told, the way the story is told. Ghost is telling us a story, so he's quite brief, quite crisp in his descriptions, and he crams in lots of different figures, names and situations. That's hard to follow. If you were doing Anthem recently, it's probably the best example, a game that's been criticized a lot and didn't really perform too well really amongst the critics. The story there is told beautifully. You have loads of characters, and most people who are doing speedrun fail to talk to many characters. You need to talk to everybody there. They unlock different missions and they tell you the story from various angles. You will get to know about the same thing from 2 or 3 different characters, and you will soak up all the information, quite clear about what's happening, who's where, what the problems are, what the liabilities are, everything. In Destiny you don't get that, and I think this is going to be massively improved in the future. So doing it yet again, I can certainly say after doing the missions yesterday, don't know whether you guys watched, I think some of our Twitch viewers watched it, we've gone through the end game. So we've finished Destiny 1, the base game, with that massive big battle in the Black Garden, and I've done this quite a few times. So for me, I knew the tactics and the strategies, yet it was still quite challenging. It was still a difficult mission to complete, as you would expect it to be, because it was the end mission of the game. And we just sort of went through all the story missions back to back, and just felt like a really good, very nourishing experience. I always feel when I restart Destiny or replay some of the story missions, like I'm going back home. I've gone back to the environment, which is fully familiar to me, and I know all the corners of it, and therefore I can feel really at home, but not just with myself and the environment, but also with my community members. Because I've gone from PlayStation to Xbox, we didn't have that many people popping in, as the vast majority of our Destiny community members who were watching Twitch and popping in was joining me on their PlayStations. But the idea I already described, basically, as to why I started from ground up, and as to why we are doing it on Xbox. I'm certainly hoping that in due course we'll have all of the communities merging together, and that will happen in September, because obviously as from September, you'll be able to play Destiny 1 within the Destiny world on your PC, and that will give you some tremendous advantages if you are entering PvP, the Crucible, where you'll be able to use a keyboard, your top-notch gaming rig, and you will have obviously a great deal of prevalence compared to everyone else who's using their controllers and consoles. In fact, yesterday, because as you know, I've streamed and played PUBG quite a lot here during last week, I've had some difficulties with it. First of all, PUBG doesn't seem to perform too well on Xbox, and that's been of concern for a little while. I have seen postings on the internet, and I've not done it on Xbox before. I've done it on PC, mobile, and on Android, basically on my tablet, and on PlayStation. And I have to say it performed the best on PC, of course, and on Android. PlayStation was alright, but Xbox is not performing, and there are many technical issues in there. It's like very glitchy, laggy, the resolution is not particularly good. So in view of the experiences I had this week, because I've done it for about, well, done it on my channel for about 3 weeks, and I had prepared, trained for about 3 weeks because I'll be rusty after being absent from the game for about a year, 3 weeks preceding. And I really have seen quite a selection of technical difficulties in there, from hit registration. For instance, once I was streaming last week, I've had probably 24 occasions where you had the enemy spotting me, and I'm running like really fast, and he's firing way behind me. I can see it on the kill cam. He didn't even have one shot on the target, and I die. So you can ask yourself, what's the reason for that? It's the lag. I run, but the game registers that I'm everywhere. Like 2 seconds of my movement is just like one big colossus in there. So he's firing up the action randomly, and I'm dying. And it's dreadful, really absolutely appalling. So principally, the other thing I noticed, well, what I've done yesterday is I watched some streams that I have on Twitch, streams done by my colleagues who are doing PUBG through esports, so they're competitive gamers of PUBG on the global scale, and they're absolutely top notch. Both of them are actually doing the game on their PCs, top notch gaming rigs, the most expensive. I watched the stream, and the difference in the quality resolution that they had, the picture quality, was phenomenal. And you will know if you played PUBG, it's all about detail. So they can see the enemy from very, very wide distance on their large monitors, and the resolution is like 4K. You can see every single bit. On Xbox, sadly, this is not the case, and the resolution is much worse, and it shouldn't be the case because we have fantastic processors on Xbox One X. So there's lots of different issues in there, and I'm certain that when we go to Destiny 1 in September, you are going to be able to see a much better quality visuals, and the sound is going to be enhanced, and everything's going to be like a step up. I did see that difference also after I started playing it on Xbox, and Xbox graphics and the sound are better and superior to the release on PlayStation. I cannot tell you why that is, but it is very, very visible. The attention to detail. It's similar to what I just described with PUBG. It's similar to what I've seen amongst the streamers who are doing PUBG on PC, because the resolution is absolutely perfect and you can see every single detail. Well, that is the difference that I experienced here between the resolution on my Xbox One X and PlayStation, and I really obviously appreciated it, and I just enjoyed it in the game a lot more, and just felt much more kind of immersive, compared to what I've done before. I mean, obviously I love it on my PlayStation, but it's just a step up. It's a bit like if you are using a different type of equipment. I'm surprised because the collection, Destiny collection, was released at the same time roughly for both consoles, and I thought that the actual deck side would be exactly the same, but maybe it's down to the machine. Maybe my PlayStation is not as capable, compared to the other Xbox machine. I don't really know, hard to tell, but equally enjoyable, and so the experience of doing a rerun starting from bottom up has been a very, very good one. Right, so what are we doing today? Well, we finished Destiny 1 base game yesterday without a massive big fight. Anyone interested, just go back to the VOD, video on demand, from yesterday. Watch the last 25 minutes and you'll be able to see it. It's probably one of the best battle missions of Destiny 1. It's very challenging because you'll have different enemies flanking you, and you'll need to know whether, basically positioned, but all of that has been successfully completed. Therefore we are progressing to the first DLC called House of Wolves, and House of Wolves is linked with the Reef, with Petrovenge, with Varix, and both the Queen and her brother. Those two characters are absolutely critical for the development of the story. You'll have a lot of them in the sequel. I'm not going to tell you what it is if you've not been there, but you'll find out. And therefore we are just going to crack on with House of Wolves today. Right, so it's going to be Warlock Human Male, played by DRBMiller. I want to say welcome to Playmore UK. Playmore says, good morning Daniel, looking forward to listening to your stream today. Wonderful to have you here, thank you very much for joining, always appreciate it. We are streaming on various platforms. I use Restream, so people come in from various devices, and various platforms are there to watch Destiny. Always great to see people here on Twitch. And I can say also hello to Mads. Mads is here on Twitch, so thank you guys for joining us here on this Sunday morning. It's a very sunny morning. It's a very bright, warm, summery morning here in North London suburbs, and quite a change to the last few days. Yesterday was very dark and murky and drizzly and all sorts. I much prefer when my day starts with bright sunshine quite early, because A, it's easier for me to wake up, become alert, and secondly, it's just like a good, nice beginning of the day, particularly during these very, very testing times of coronavirus and a complete lockdown still in here in my local area. So very good to see Playmore and Mads and all of our friends elsewhere. I've seen people interacting on other platforms. I'll respond to you a bit later, and I'll read out all of your names, and thank you for supporting the stream, for retweeting, for visiting it on Instagram, giving it some support and love. And as I said earlier, I've set up a tipping system in here for people to support the channels, for anyone who actually enjoys our community content, because this channel is all about community. It's all about our social interactions with our friends from worldwide. This is not a competitive channel. We don't do any competitions in here. We just talk all the time, and it's the channel dedicated to love, passion, and enthusiasm about video game industry overall. So it's not just about Destiny, it's about all the other games, everything that's out there. And we talked earlier in the week about both Bungie quite a lot, and then later on PlayStation presentation, because obviously the new consoles are coming out probably around Christmas time. And it was actually the first good PlayStation presentation I watched. I don't know whether you'd agree. All the other presentations in recent times that they had, like a State of Play, were really lame, really poor quality compared to what we have on Inside Xbox and Xbox on this week on Xbox. But I enjoyed the trailers, I enjoyed the introductions, because we had game developers and the leads from various studios telling us all about the novelties. I don't know whether you guys watched everything, but I was struck by the number of indie games in there compared to the heavyweight blockbusters. Seems like a good balance, and they obviously wanted to attract many people to the console with indie stuff as well, because Xbox are introducing a lot of this through Game Pass services. And it just seemed like a really, really good, forward-thinking, positive presentation for the new console and all that is to follow. I think there are several games that I'm really excited about. I'll tell you about that a bit later, but I think first of all we'll crack on with some action, and we'll see what is there for us to do. So first of all, we need to go back to the tower. If you are a Destiny veteran, you'll know this is a game of structures. You need to have your drill, you need to go through certain motions in order to complete, and one of those is before you start your missions and after you finish your session or your daily gaming, you always have to go back to the tower, and you have to sort out your armor, your weapons, everything else inclusive of the bounties, and get ready for another mission, right? You need to talk to all non-playable characters in order to give you various tasks, and you keep it up. Basically, you keep this as your regular drill. I remember at the beginning I used to always forget to collect my bounties. I never forget that anymore. I collect my bounties every single time, and I go firstly to Master Hall to do decoding. I go to bounty hunter, they'll literally be in the same vicinity, collect my bounties or to loot shacks, and then I proceed to the other NPCs. So remember that, it's very important, because if you don't do it, you'll be progressing at a slow pace, you won't be getting the best possible kit, because obviously the kit is giving you the power and light levels, and you're just lagging behind somewhat. Just had a message from Shash, and Shash is responding to my postings on free play this weekend, and this weekend we have several games on Xbox that are offered free of charge for people to try. Soul Calibur 6 is one of them, and also we have Rainbow Six Siege, and she's just asking, is Soul Calibur 6 going to be playable on PlayStation 5? Presently, I'm not sure, but it is very likely that they will access it, because after the presentation, everyone had some concerns, people in the community, that perhaps there aren't that many games out there to be played on PlayStation 5, and they're asking about backwards compatibility, because originally they said they'll just make PS4 games backward compatible, but I think in response, as there was obviously a lot of flack and questions raised, they said they will be massively expanding on the entire facility. So hopefully, they are going to be providing backwards compatibility for many games, because otherwise they'll lag behind Xbox, the new generation Xbox, the Project X, that will have all of the Xbox games ever released, through backwards compatibility on Microsoft. And I think it is very likely that we'll have, particularly, the games like the long-term franchise, Assassin's Creed, and then Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, Call of Duty, all these kinds of games. It's very likely that all of them will be accessible through the new console. I think it's very unlikely, maybe initially there will be some issues, but generally the service will be made available. So I'd say presently, I'm trying to see what her name is, presently, Shash, I'm not sure whether that is going to be the case with this specific game, Soul Calibur 6, but I can certainly tell you that in a long term, that is a certain possibility. It's very likely. They confirmed that they're working on a great number of games presently, and that was said, I think, about 2 days ago. I've seen some press releases, which was just like an add-on to the presentation, because they were waiting for the feedback, and everyone's very excited about Horizon, the sequel, Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. It looked absolutely wonderful, and as you know, it's a wonderful RPG. I mean, one of my favorites, and amongst the Sony exclusives, so we're all very excited. So thank you, Shash, for the question. Thank you for your interest, indeed for your support of my channel. And obviously we have also Martinis and Last Teeny and Savage, and we got several other people who are quite keen on the broadcast and retweeting and asking others to join us, because they say that there aren't many Destiny 1 streamers on Twitch. I'm not sure. I think people come and go. I mean, I've seen like dozens and dozens, but because the viewership of Destiny 1 on Twitch channel is not particularly high numbers compared to some of the other games, lots of these people call it a day. They sort of quit early, and I think this is a wrong way of doing it. You've seen that I've been streaming Destiny for 2 years, sometimes on everyday basis and very extensively. At other times we were also presenting you with a variety stream. We were bringing in games that were accessible free of charge, and all of that worked very well as a package. I think the way it works on Twitch, there's another question there. Why is it that you're just streaming Destiny? Well, I'm not just streaming Destiny. Destiny is the core game that is basically pegged to this channel, so the community and the channel were built around Destiny. Why? Well, the reason is simple. Destiny is one of the most played games on the planet over a long period of time, and also it has a wonderful community. When the game came out, there were no major game guides released, so therefore, in order to finish it successfully, and most importantly, in order to be reaching the upper tiers of Destiny, and that is with your pinnacle weapons, with the advanced activity, you really required 2 other people to be together with you, because otherwise the mission's almost impossible to complete, and you didn't know what to do. And that is the approach that Bungie team had kept literally throughout the last 7 years. So what does it tell you? It tells you that there will be a need for people to come in and ask questions, and that is a basic premise for any community to be built. If there isn't a need to ask questions, then there is no community. Not just here, in social network forums, but also in real life. I think if you look around in your own local community, well, obviously, depending how old you are, I'm old enough to remember. The need to ask questions about train timetables and buses and various other things like around town when the shops open, that needs disappeared. It doesn't exist anymore amongst the local residents because we have smartphones, and smartphones provide us with this information 24/7. Therefore, the quantity of social interactions, people talking to each other about mundane things, had massively decreased. People are a lot less sociable today than what they would have been maybe 15-20 years ago, and that's very visible through the attention span, the way people talk to each other, and therefore selecting a game that requires for people to ask questions if you want to be a streamer, to build a community, is fundamentally important. It's fundamentally important. This is why lots of people watch FPS games, because they will ask after watching a particular match the broadcaster, the gamer, about how they actually got that particular skill, how they really managed to get to that level, or they'll ask about kit. There'll be things to ask. So remember, if you are a streamer, if you want to build a community, or if you're building any other community on social networking forums, you've got to do something that will make people ask you questions. You need to provoke a bit, or you need to have a need to be requesting assistance. Right. Alright, so let's just crack on. Lots of introduction today, I have to say, and let me think. We need to go to the speaker, I think. It looks like the speaker is out there. But before we do that, oh no, I've done all of my admin yesterday, so I don't have to be looking at my weapons. We polished this off yesterday at the end of our session. And let me see, yeah, everything's in order. The speaker will tell us a bit more, and I think we'll get a reward from him because we completed all the missions and tasks that were given to us by him yesterday. Right, so let's have a look. What have we got there? There's a speaker in this beautiful library.
Oh.
I really like going there. Let's see what he says.
Your power is greater than when we last met. Wield your light well, Guardian.
All units confirmed. Sector secure.
It'll fall in line when the time's right.
Right away. I am authorized to transmit bounties, Guardian. Yes, Guardian? Checking. Acknowledged. Confirmed. Confirmed.
as you can see, we are getting some teammates. Taking a while, but it's more promising than yesterday. It felt like a lengthy, infinite wait. On Saturday, today, it all looks a bit better. You can see other people are supporting us on Twitter. Thank you very much for that, Streamer Hype. Thank you to Art Discount as well. Thank you to Shash. Who else do we have there? Let me see. Martinis we have, and Savage. Oh, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream as well. It's been a bit of a slow start, but for all of you who are here with us frequently, you'll know that initially we have a lengthy introduction. It's dedicated to our community, to the news and industry, and everything else. And once we get going, then obviously it is back-to-back gaming with some of our members' participation as well. Well, looks like we are getting there. 12 out of 12. The Crucible it is. I must admit I enjoy the Crucible in Destiny New Light better than in Destiny 1. I actually used to hate the Crucible here. And that's more to do, well, it's not just to do with my internet speed, it's just deathmatch, It's like really close, very tight maps. I much prefer wider maps. And in the sequel there's quite a variety. It's funny because PUBG has one deathmatch map and I absolutely hate it, and funny enough, the other day, which was to my great surprise, with a very good team, we were able to win it. So it was my first win in PUBG on that map. And to actually make even things better, I managed to eliminate the last man standing because we really played tactically, so that was really great. The last shot came from me and I brought us the victory, so that was particularly rewarding considering what the internet speeds I have, It's been recorded on my stream, you can see it, the last PUBG stream I have here, the last match, just a couple of days ago. Shores of Time.
Mayhem Clash. Alpha Team.
Mayhem Clash it is, Alpha Team. Let's see whether my super will eliminate some of the guys.
Time for battle.
Time for battle. Oh, he's behind me. Couldn't see him. You're falling behind, alright. 8. Double, because there were 2 of them camping there.
Available.
To the left, isn't he? Gone.
Lost the lead.
Don't know where my grenade went. My speed is so terrible, like 1 in PvP, But my super certainly can, so let me see.
You're falling behind. 5 minutes remaining.
Well, I miscued this one. I thought the enemy was hiding behind this was wrong. See whether I can. No, he's got a scout rifle in there. It's very powerful. We're winning or losing? I can't see.
Heavy ammo on the way.
The grenade was actually somewhere near him. Let's see where they are.
Heavy ammo
That was
available.
that Titan King. Oh, there he is, okay. Oh, he got away. was a really high jump. Did you see that? Jumped really high. But what's good is my super's recharging rapidly, so I'll be able to use it quite a lot. Just need to make sure that I hit 2 people together. Yeah, the other team is not really powerful, really fast, and this is a true death match. I've got to say that I don't really like overall the deathmatch maps generally, you know. It's just pure adrenaline. I much prefer the maps you have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare and PUBG, like the maps where you need to strategize and use your brain a bit, you know, rather than just purely learn how to use a controller. Okay, so he's there. See, can see him. He's gone somewhere. Maybe he got killed. Don't know. He was there a moment ago.
Heavy ammo available.
Yeah, I got him. So that was the idea. Back in action. There's no chance. He's got rockets. No chance. Another rocket. Collecting skies, but looks at that.
Enemy almost won.
Didn't take any damage from me, look at him. Now he did. Oh, yeah, grenade. That grenade killed him. Okay.
Defeat is not surrender, Guardian.
Oh, well then. Maybe we'll do another. We'll do another quickly. And then we'll do our story missions. So just bear with us. That's the plan. Maybe we'll stay within the same team. There won't be, you know, a lot of waiting. As you can see, my scoring there is extremely poor. And as you could see, there's very little I can do with my upload speeds here. Therefore, I mean, we sort of played Crucible quite a bit, really, here on my broadcasts, but that was with other team members. And it's just that the Crucible at one stage was the most popular activity in Destiny 1 after everyone migrated to the sequel. But you know, it's just it's of no joy for me. Generally, I don't really like death matches. Doesn't matter what game, you know, you're looking at, and I like the games where there is strategy and tactics. But then obviously, if you come to the last few teams in Battle Royale, you've got to be really hot on your controls, because there will be teams out there that are very experienced. And I watched PUBG yesterday on some of my colleagues' channels, and you could really see how incredibly skilled they were in the use of their keyboard. The aiming was incredible, and if you watch any of those, when you know that the player is on a PC, you really can tell the difference. The aiming is so smooth, you know, and really so precise, in addition to obviously the quality resolution they get on the display. And she was able to take shots from very, very wide distance, like headshots on a sniper, and they were just all bang on. There's absolutely no way I can do anything like that here with my Xbox and my controller, albeit sometimes you can just strike it lucky, you know. I mean, I've had some kills in PUBG with a weapon like MP5 without any sights, and it was like 200 meters, but it's just, you know, it's pure luck. And in addition to that, I think the person who got killed was probably lagging very badly, because the shots could have not been precise. But you don't really get postings coming from the developers about these kinds of tech issues anywhere. And you know, evidently lots of people would not be doing such PvP games if they knew that they were at such a disadvantage. It's sort of, with some of the games it's sort of semi-hidden, but other games kind of bring it to the fore a bit more. I keep talking about this because I'm really frustrated with the fact I live in a town centre. You know, like we live in one of the biggest industrial countries on the planet, and we simply can't get fibre optic. You have street cabinets telling you fibre optic available in this area, and you call the company and they don't want to do it. So we're going to be suffering from these old generation copper wires and old styled fast broadband, and that is so infuriating. And I've been battling it for 4 years, and funny enough, in the other area of London where I lived before, in Alexandra Palace, top-notch area, like really affluent, exactly the same problem. And we used to be the world leaders with internet speeds, and we've gone down to the number 38, if I'm not mistaken. With 36, we even dropped 38 recently. You have half of Europe being faster than us, like Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Croatia. All these countries have absolutely phenomenally fast internet, whilst we are still discussing whether we should be introducing the new wiring, new cabling, fibre optic cables to most of our areas. I mean, honestly, with the new generation technology, we are going to be lagging seriously behind unless this is immediately corrected. Reminds me of the situation with Eurostar. Anyone who travelled on Eurostar before we open our King's Cross International Terminal will remember slow train between London and Dover, and then that same train turning into supersonics as you were literally almost flying from Calais to either Brussels or Paris. And we know full well as to why that was. The same problem, the old infrastructure, no investment. But to be fair, it was very difficult to be changing those routes because of the density of our railways network down southeast. And there were reasons for this, but I just think there should have been a lot more thought given well in advance, and maybe a bit more planning. Eventually we got it right, and that was like 15 years later. Or even later than that. I've counted 15 years, might have been 17 or 19, I don't know, God knows. Stopped counting. You know what, we're not going to wait here. That's just not on. We'll do some story missions, because we could be stuck in here for half a day, and we don't have that much time today. It's Sunday, we want to have a lot of enjoyable activities. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at our progress. So what's the progress? What do we need to do? The story of the Awakened and their campaign against the Heiser Wolves. Okay, we got some bounties completed, so that's good. Defeat the opposing guardians whilst your team is in the lead. We were leading and then we lost. Sad, but true. Okay. So our first mission of today is going to be Heiser Wolves. There we are, Scourge of the Winter, and that will be, I just want to see, reach level 20. Okay, that's Nova Bomb uses, and that's Drain Kills. So that's the only story mission we need to do. What I'm trying to do is, I want to play story missions chronologically, so that everyone watching or reviewing our VODs can easily follow the story. The reason that's why I'm doing it from ground up is to do with the story missions and the way they're going to be integrated within Destiny New Light in September. And I won't be jumping gun doing things outside of that equation. We'll have short breaks with the Crucible, with strikes, and also with some patrols from time to time, but generally the idea is to be having a good story mission run on Destiny 1 on all three characters here on Xbox, and that is Warlock, Hunter and Titan. Right, so without further ado, we are proceeding, and the mission is going to be on Venus, as you can see. Scourge of Winter, Ishtar sink Venus, hunt and kill Draxis, the Heiser Winter's Kell, hiding deep in the caves of the Ishtar sink. So without further ado, let's just crack on, but we've got some upgrades in there. Let's see what the upgrades are. Come on! Several. Well, that's not bad, is it? So this is our Axion bolt. With
Those
light
fallen we
black
faced in the
prefer
archive
vortex
belong to the
grenades.
House of Winter. Their Kel, Draxus, has been hunted by Guardians for years. If these reports are correct, he's commanding them from a network of caves up in the cinders. If we want to keep the Academy's secrets safe, we should push into their lair and take him out.
Indeed, we shall. Long view, SLR, low zoom scope, mid zoom, precision scope, heavy. Okay, we'll take that whole thing. Maybe that's good.
I'm ready if you are.
Roger that. Affirmative. Overnight. Got some lovely Welsh rabbit in there waiting for me as well. I had my breakfast before the broadcast, but funny enough, after I eat cereals, and it's got a large bowl of cereals with fruit, I don't have my second part of breakfast, and then very quickly after I start broadcasting I get really hungry. It's to do with talking, I think, and I always have at least half a litre of water next to me, because it's very easy to dehydrate. So to all the gamers worldwide, do not do solid 10-hour streams or gaming sessions. Take breaks every 60 minutes, walk around a bit, drink that water. Remember that rule, 20-20-20. 20 minutes you play the game, after 20 minutes you look around a bit for 1 minute, don't look at the screen, and then after another 20 minutes you walk around a bit and exercise. I actually do 20-20-20 at the same time, at all times, and I tell you why. I've got a setup where I don't have to be sitting. I'm always walking. And it's sort of fairly high up, so therefore I'm always walking, I'm always moving, I'm always looking around a bit, and therefore I make that activity, the gaming activity, a lot more enjoyable for myself. I never get any back pains or leg pains or anything like that when I do gaming, and that's the way to do it. But you've got to be fit enough to do that, because if you do 6-hour streams and you're standing for 6 hours, obviously you can sit down for a couple of minutes. So I do it in reverse. Every hour I sit down for a couple of minutes rather than the other way around. But that really suits me better, because I actually have difficulties if I'm seated for a long while, and that really causes me all kinds of muscular pains. Not sure why that is, but that's the way it is. And it's been like that for a long while, and therefore I made sure that I adjusted. When I was running clinical services, I was seated most of the times, and it did cause me some serious neck problems. I had perfect orthopedic chair and everything, but still these problems kept appearing, and I figured it's to do with the posture, and maybe it's just the way my biochemistry works. It does require some degree of activity, otherwise the tension builds up, and as soon as the tension builds up, there's lack of circulation and you can feel all the pains. And in my case, that's actually as I progressed in age, it's accelerated, so it's much worse than what it was. But still, I found a way, and I'm very happy with it. And I can recommend it to everyone. If you're having that sort of problem, that's the way to do it. Just make sure your screen, or your TV, or whatever you have, is elevated high up, and that you have well, if you're playing on a PC, you can just get the high desk, like a standing desk, and you can have your keyboard in there. It's all good. You can have one of those bar chairs as well. You can just lean on it a bit. If you're playing on console, it's nice and easy. You just walk around. You have wireless controller, or I use actually my controller always with a wire, because the connection is obviously much faster and better, and don't have any lag between my controller and the console, which is sometimes experienced if you're using it wirelessly. So that's also the other thing that I do. Alright, so we start with our first mission here. House of Wolves this is. We can see what our destination is out there. And do everything possible to defeat that dreaded enemy called Draxus, as you've heard. Everyone who played Forsaken will remember as to why the Queen and her brother are very important here to our story in Destiny. Certainly in our story here. Sometimes as I talk a lot, my brain ceases to operate properly. Level 20, that's very good. We wanted to see that. Lights in there. Look at him. Gun. Into that protective bubble. It appears to be very challenging when you have really poor quality weapons, but once you're in possession of your Dark Drinker, you just keep rocking. But actually, it's got to be challenging, otherwise the game is, you know, experienced from a different viewpoint, and therefore doing it from the very beginning is very rewarding. Okay, my melee now is effective. You could see in that endgame mission we had to be applying melee 3 times rather than once, because the enemies were a lot stronger, which was expected. And my super is not recharging as fast now. Loads of taken here to get away from there, because I'll be killed otherwise. Look at him, he's pleased with himself. Guess what, so am I. I keep forgetting that we can't grab compared to Destiny New Light, and frequently just jump expecting to grab, but then you can't. Right. Picked up some engrams, which is quite good.
That's gotta be the way into their lair.
There has got to be the way inside of this facility, and we found it. Okay. Well, we're not getting any champions because we haven't gone far enough, but basically in this area you have 3 respawns of Taken, and then you get the champions coming in, so we'll do that. Just give them a goodbye present. Alright. You can see he's got Dark Drinker. You see this chap there? The mauve purple sword he's having. What I want to say was that in this area you will have pinnacle weapon quests, and you will have to be killing champions. So you have to come to this area, the outside of this cave, just where we were, and you'll have waves and waves of Taken coming up, and then you'll be at the end. You will get the champion popping up. You have to eliminate quite a few champions in order to progress forward. So remember that. Just bear with me, I need to do something here.
guard is here. Kel must be close. It must belong to the House of Winter. I've never seen one on the surface. The Kel's gotta be inside.
It's going to be rather hot in here. Loads of enemies down below. So we can take some pot shots from above. Like this. Oh, he's taking 2 shots. Yeah. Somebody's firing as well. Okay, oh, he's taking 2 shots. Okay, use that swift back against them. Probably gone from there. See over there. That was a headshot. It worked. Another. It's a good spot for anybody who does stealthy gameplay, you know. You can't really do some of it in Destiny because it's a looter, shooter, FPS and sometimes very hectic. But still, there are some spots where this is possible. It is possible if you're doing it in a team of 3. If you're doing it by yourself, it gets a bit more difficult. There's always play snipers in FPS, in PvP, you know, I'm watching everyone's back, but frequently my teammates do not watch mine, and that is always highly noticeable. You will know that in Battle Royale, however. See? Try another, if at all possible. Oh, he's a cat. Ammunition! No ammunition. So I need to go down there. Okay. That Welsh rarebit is delightful, I've got to say. I really like that sort of breakfast. Don't need fried breakfast much, very rarely. I emphasize. My fried breakfast is actually made of vegetables rather than meat. I like the taste of fried breakfast, it's just that it has loads of cholesterol, and I'm past the stage when I can really entertain the idea of eating a lot of it. As you've seen with COVID, cholesterol was quite an important, the cholesterol levels were quite an important factor in terms of how quickly the virus was able to attack some people. It's really very sad, very discovery, the scientists are great. Reload takes forever. Supercharged. Right, we're alright actually, it wasn't too difficult. I thought well, maybe because I was taking those sniper shots earlier. This weapon is a bit of recoil. It's quite powerful, but the recoil is unpleasant if you're trying to eliminate some of the enemies at wider distance. I have Sekapupu here with us today because he'll be able to tell me exactly what the specs were on every single weapon. He knows everything. Well, maybe Sekapupu's watching. I don't really know. I've not. Well, usually Sekapupu says hello when he comes in. You know what's interesting? When you do Destiny reruns, the game is never boring. You always find it really exciting and interesting, and it's purely to do with its volume. It's a very, very massive game. I mean, you know, both this one and the sequel. A grenade did the job alright. Oh, I hate him, I don't have another grenade. Well, that was fortunate, I thought he was gonna destroy me.
Somewhere on this thing, there's a throne room. That's where we'll find Draxus.
That's right. Draxus is going to be there, but we need to... Just a second. So that will be up there. Okay. To go up, by the looks of it. Turn right, and then go up here. Draxus is one of our dreaded enemies. Okay, we cleared everything here. So the door is going to open, it is. Cheeky. See whether we need to do no, because otherwise we are. Yeah, they're gone. Otherwise there'll be a problem there. Just the first Vandal. Remember to eliminate servitors and wizards, you know, first of all. It's very important. Shoot from the hip as well. It's also effective, suppressing the enemy. Okay. Sniper. Missed him now. Where is the other guy? Come on, put your head on the door. Remember to lower your weapon, because the AI is responding to you pulling it. So when you lower your weapon, then you know you can make him put his head through, and then he's dead. But just a few tips and tricks, really. So carry on. Right, let's get to Draxus now. Let's finish this off. And
There's the cow.
Got him. Mission complete. Talk to Petra. We need to go back to Petra. The mission is
Draxus
finished.
is one of the worst plagues this system has ever seen. Without their count, houses usually turn against each other. We may finally have broken their hold on the Academy.
He's one of those cows. He's similar to Varix, you know, this sort of creature that has rebelled against the Empire. Alright, so what we'll do is I'll take a short break. Once I come back, we'll go and talk to Petra, and then we'll carry on with our adventures here in Destiny 1. We got some rewards, as you can see. We have some kills, we have everything. It's all looking very good and bright on this very sunny, very warm Sunday morning. Anybody knows that song? Sunday Morning? Velvet Underground and Nico? Do you remember the song? Used to be my favorite song for every Sunday, although the song tells you something else which is not that happy and not that cheerful. But it was just I wasn't really listening to the lyrics, I was just listening to the music, and you know, Lou Reed's Perfect Day and Velvet Underground's Sunday Morning, my kinds of songs at the time. But just don't listen to the lyrics, just listen to the atmosphere and to the music and all of that. Let me just quickly see the upgrades and then I'll take a break. We have one perk unlocked, energy projection, so grenade throw distance is enhanced. Remember to do that. Always enable them. Scout rifle loader, so we can be having a bit more ammunition on our scout rifle. Then we have Nemesis plane even 2 sniper rifle ammunition. I need to do this one first. So we have better defense and more ammunition for our sniper rifles, so that's pretty good. And then we have some unlockables here. Full automatic, okay, so that's good. That is what will be appreciated. Stranger's rifle. I've not used Stranger's rifle much on my other 5 runs, but I think we are doing very well in here. Increasing attack power, rifle damage, and we have here tripod. Okay, so we got this tube can hold 3 shells, increasing the ammunition levels. The rest will do when I come back. So have a cup of tea, have a breath of fresh air, relax a bit, stretch, and then we'll carry on in about 5 minutes. I'm on my 5-minute break. Once we get back, we'll carry on with our House of Wolves Destiny 1 adventures. yeah, my friends, I'm back. That Welsh rabbit, my throat got a bit croaky. Look, I can't even pronounce words properly. Welsh rabbit was absolutely wonderful, and the weather out there with the sunshine is very, very inviting. So for anyone who is living in the green belt of London, I'm sure you will be wanting to spend your time outside. But I need to tell you, if you are having this drive and need to go out, make sure you're going to a park. You stay far away from everybody else. Do not mix with people. You need to adhere to the social distancing rules in order to prevent the spread of the virus. And for myself, I've spent already 103 days in quarantine, and it's been a very, very lengthy day. And this period has been unlike anything else I've seen in my lifetime. And we're just hoping that the pandemic is going to be, well, gone, that we are going to be able to find medication and vaccine for the virus to be killed, because this way of life has been very, very difficult for many, many people. And as you can see, everyone's affected in their own way. In Britain, we had suffered tremendously. Our death rate is very, very high, the highest in Europe. And obviously we had disease spreading in highly populated areas, a bit like smoke or clouds. And therefore many, many people and families have been very badly affected, which is truly and utterly devastating to know. So I just want to reiterate what I said earlier. If you go out when you have lovely, nice weather, make sure you adhere to the distancing rules and that you keep away from everyone in order to prevent the spread of the virus. Also, do wear face coverings, masks, scarves or anything else. It will help the fight against the pandemic, regardless of what everyone tells you, because you are going to be preventing the droplets from coming onto you, and that's the most important thing. If anybody sneezes, coughs, or anything like that in your immediate environment, you are going to be protected to a degree. So remember that. It's not going to be preventing it completely, from helping you. It's not going to prevent you from getting the virus altogether. 75% there will be a helping hand, and why not use it? A bit like a person who's got difficulty with walking. Why not use like a walking aid or stick or anything else in order to enable you to walk better? It is that sort of approach. Keep it in mind if you go outside, if you go to your local park, if you are wanting to enjoy the hot weather. Do not go to beaches or clearings where there are lots of different people socializing. Don't do that. That is not going to help. Alright, so we are going to go back to we're going back to the reef, in fact, because we need to speak to Petra as we completed our first mission of House of Wolves. Draxis has been neutralized, one of those deadly kells, and quite curious to see when we'll unlock the missions and activities, death matches that Varix is going to give us in the House of Judgment. So that is all coming up soon. Let's get ready for some chit chat and for some more action in House of Wolves. Is Petra, my favorite NPC in Destiny 1.
We found Skolos once. We can do it again.
You did well, Guardian. Now you and I are going to hunt some wolves together. The fallen House of Wolves bent the knee to my queen. They were taken in after the Reef Wars accepted. Now they're off the leash. The leader, Skolas, has fled the prison of elders. They must be stopped, and that is to be completed at all costs. So we'll roger that.
We just need to identify his next target. I bet I know how we can get started.
So we need to identify his next target. The reason she is my favorite character here It actually reminds me of my favourite video game of all times, which is Mass Effect Trilogy, which looks very much like some of the characters that are present in that BioWare masterpiece, beautifully designed and indeed blending in with other characters from other films and television series, Star Wars, you know, Galactica and all the other ones amongst the most notable ones. So definitely my favourite character in Destiny 1, NPC character that is. So we'll say to her, thank you for providing us with a new mission, ma'am. We'll be back after another hard battle. Fear God, honour the King. Fear God, honour the King is what we say always as we serve the Empire. So barracks is here, but we do need to decode some weapons here with our Cryptarch. Master Ives in the Reef serves the same serves the same purpose. Can't even talk, look at this. It's only Sunday. He is a replica of Master Ives, Master Rahul, as he is a Cryptarch, and he is decoding.
Odd choice.
Okay, we picked up that reward. 200. I thought he was giving us 400. Why is that just picked up 200? Well, that's a bit glitched, because he was giving us 400 and picked up just 2. Right, 4 engrams, let's see.
That should get the job done.
Another rifle. Strange coin.
Looks like it fits. More or less.
Another helmet. And Axiom Cavern 4. Okay, another gauntlet. So let me see what else we've got there. 106, 121. 106 is off to oblivion. 105, 110. Don't really need any of these. Happy with that. 110. 130. Look at this now. Look at the light level. We are entering that 130, enabling it on our character, and our light level is going to jump. So watch. Gone to 104. 115. 130. Okay, 115. We'll kiss it goodbye, and that's 105, 100. Okay, we'll take 105. The other one we'll do away with. 110. Okay, so we need to get to the level 21, so that will be arriving shortly. And in here we have some other weapons. I think that's 110. Valka 105. Okay. What's the rifle? This is the one I was using. Yeah, it was pretty good, that scout rifle. No, actually, it was forgot it was the legendary pulse rifle, of course. So any other pulse rifles in there? Scout. Okay, we'll get rid of that one. 105, and what's this? 112 scout rifle. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Hand cannon. Sniper rifles, let's see, 88, 100, 105. Take 105, the rest will be gone. Well, if there is one thing in here that feels sometimes a bit arduous, it is to do with modding, you know, with the unlockable perks. In the sequel, once you've picked up mods, once you discard a weapon, the mods will be kept, and that's very useful, because otherwise in here, you're literally starting from scratch on every single weapon. Some of the community members prefer it and like it better. Other people think that the option in the sequel or in Destiny New Light is somewhat better, but nobody wants to make Destiny capabilities, the character's capabilities, to be far too easy. And I think this is what's been experienced by some of the guys in New Light. I was not keen on 750 and then 950 being given as the threshold light level, because obviously everyone who spent a couple of years building their character up to that level would expect everyone else to start from scratch. So although you have all the tasks, still starting out on 750 seems, I mean, I'm not that keen on that, I have to admit. I know it's going to help lots of people to come in and join forces, and they will not feel left behind to be able to attack certain bosses and you know, enemies are there, but Destiny is a game of achievements, of hard work, of lengthy grinds, and I think that is certainly an area that perhaps requires some further investigation. Put 105 sniper on. Fusion rifle 74, 75, 85. That's altogether really not particularly powerful, and fusion rifle set as well, I've got to admit, this one, before we had the sniper, and then overlord, and then we have machine gun on 10 and 85. Okay, we get rid of this one. Do remember, if you are getting rid of weapons, you need to see whether and what type of subclass is attached to them, because 3 Nox Canter fusion rifles may not be just having Sunsinger, you know, there might be Void or Arc, and keep this in mind if you have a personal preference which is tying in with a particular weapon. I really don't mind. I'll be looking at light levels and the overall capabilities of both weapons and armor. Okay, so we've done this admin. Off we go. So that's all sorted. The next mission is ahead of us. We'll crack on more or less straight away. And I need to see what bounties we have there, and strange coins, right? So this is a currency, and you will know that every weekend. So let me see whether he's there today. The Agent of 9 nearly fell into the abyss. Okay, this is closed.
I was talking to myself. You're not interrupting anything.
There. Yeah, we haven't gone this far to be able to use it, but we are going to be able to use the currency. No, actually, he's done there. He might be done there, let me see. He's not here today. Okay, he might be then hiding in the tower. There is the character that provides us with high quality loot, and if you collect lots of in-game currency, look at this, it's quite good. I like the pumpkin. Hello. And doing different kinds of dances is a good way of engaging with other community members and perhaps bringing in new squad members, squad teammates, and we've used that quite a lot. You can do it in here or at the tower, or indeed in any other area where the social is present. And I guess this was conceived before we had Twitch, because Twitch through streams will bring in lots of people who are viewing and they will ask whether they can come in. But before we had Twitch, this was the basic way of trying to find your new teammates. You know, everyone at a tower or here, if not talking to each other, then doing funny things, wearing funky outfits. The idea behind skins and some of the collectibles were exactly to do with that, to draw attention, to bring in new people, and it worked perfectly, and actually it still works. Frequently when I'm here, I'll come around and have a look, but obviously today we don't have that many, and you know, just look around and see what outfits people wear. Quite curious to see, you know, what kind of headwear they will have on them, like different pumpkins or masks like wolf heads and that sort of thing. Really quite attractive and quite funny, and albeit it does draw attention, but at the same time it makes you talk to others. You know, you want to ask them, how did you get this outfit? What did you do in order to get it? We've had in PUBG the other day somebody asking about certain bits, and it was really quite a good sociable connection popping up straight away from various members asking questions and the others explaining, and it was, you know, it's a good way through which some new people could be drawn in and certain connections and interactions can be made. So we've seen all of this, and now is the time to crack on with our next House of Wolves mission. We are continuing today with the first DLC in Destiny 1, as we indeed had completed the base game yesterday. The last match of, the last section of Destiny 1 base game is the massive big battle in the Black Garden, of course. So, we need to go where? Let's see, progress. Kel Rising. Head off the Hasselwolves on Venus before the Kel scholars can wrest control of the Winter complete mission Kel Rising. So that will be on Venus by the looks of it. Let's see what else we've got. It's just various quests and tasks related to the use of superpowers, like Chorus Challenge, for instance, Nova Bombs and Strikes, and we can't actually get into Strikes yet. Legend of the Warlock. Oh, it looks like we will need to speak to Ikora. Okay, we can probably take a trip there after we completed this mission. I completely forgot about this. And then in Siphoning Strike, we'll have one strike by the looks of it. Oh no, that's actually defeating the Guardians in the Crucible with Energy Drain. So we'll do this at some point, but as you've seen, the Crucible was not particularly busy today, and therefore we are going to be avoiding it. Right, so that's cool. Venus, we said, is the next destination. This is where it is. Bear with me, I want to see how many people are watching Destiny today on Twitch. The numbers of Destiny viewers on Twitch channel have been greatly depleted, and you would have experienced and seen that for quite a few months. So we are not having many new viewers at all. We have dedicated veterans and people who are known to the channel. And today, as expected on Sunday, hardly anybody. We have 11 viewers, and altogether we have about 6 different streamers. Sad to see that people migrated, and it's very likely that as we incorporate Destiny 1 into the New Light structure, Destiny New Light, it's likely that the viewership here will completely disappear. I think this is what I'm expecting, because obviously the missions will be available within that universe. And on the other hand, I'm wondering whether the online services for Destiny 1 will still remain in their present shape, or whether we are likely to be expecting another change as well. I don't really know. We'll have to see. Okay, so instead of checking out all the other activities, we'll just go to Ishtar Sync on Venus. Requires House of Wolves. Well, I have House of Wolves. So what's happening in there? Why is that we can't really do it? Just double check. There's a problem here with the codes, I think, because the codes didn't register. But I thought all the expansions were there. Just bear with me a second to double check. Be back in a second. I apologise, it looks like, because I've got a brand new Destiny the collection for Xbox One, but there was a problem with the codes being redeemed, and I have to contact Bungie and Microsoft to provide me with the new codes, because I believe they changed something during the last couple of years, and therefore the older codes are not registering anymore. So I need to investigate this. So in order to carry on, we'll do some other activities here today. We're not going to progress down the next mission. I'm really surprised that well, there must be a glitch, because obviously we already had completed one of those missions that was giving us access to House of Wolves. So I'm not sure what the reason for this is. I don't want to be reloading or doing anything else. But what we can do is we can probably do another strike, which is going to be enjoyable, and we'll need to see what we've got here on Mars. That's Taken King expansion. Okay, we got another strike in there as well, Cerberus, which is what we completed. Okay, let me see then if we go back to the time and talk to Akora. We'll get anything else. We'll see. I've seen on various internet forums that other people experienced the same problem, because obviously we bought Destiny, the collection, you know, the hard copy wasn't purchased digitally, and the codes in there are still old, so that's probably the reason. And due to the pandemic, the Bungie and Microsoft teams are not responding as fast as they should, so I need to really resolve that within the next 24 hours, or indeed purchase it separately, because I can't really allow that to be, you know, causing us these issues. We want the full content to be instantly accessible. It popped up the other day when I realized that the codes were not getting registered, and there was some problem with the installation as well. It did take a bit of time. Alright, so let's go in there. We'll go to Ikora. Can try another Crucible and do another strike. Just hopefully the Crucible, there isn't going to be a lengthy waiting period. Let's see what she says.
Okay, Guardian.
Guardian, what little we have learned about the light comes from many sacrifices, many trials. Do not forget those lost to the darkness, and also do not forget to tend to your light. It will keep the last city standing. So we're getting some gear.
I had a feeling this would work out.
And defeat opposing Guardians with Scorch in the Crucible. Have you been practicing your song? Remind your fellow Guardians what it means to face a Sunsinger blazing at full light, so we can be using the other subclass in the Crucible. As you know, in the sequel, Destiny New Light, the developer, Bungie, really forced people to use certain weapons and certain skills because they felt everyone was like a creature of habits. They would use their favorites, like their own cash, their own, loadout, and they would just ignore everything else. And obviously it is in their interest for everyone to be tackling different weapons. I have to say, I didn't feel that we were to be requiring a particular weapon for a certain mission as much as highlighted by the team. I think it was perhaps more visible in Destiny 1, because obviously with Dark Drinker, with Pinnacle weapons, you would get, great advantage. I didn't feel that the weaponry or some specific weapons were developed to that level in the sequel, and also you didn't feel that you would need to have, let's say, a particular gun or sword in order to complete a mission. Let's say if you didn't have it, then the mission would be just undone. I guess weighing up the costs, some people don't like grinding for a long while, therefore they will lose followers and regular gamers, so they probably backtracked on some of the things said earlier. I remember before Shadowkeep came out, they were insisting that that's going to be the strategy, but like with any company, they're very responsive to their community, and if they feel that there's a lot of dissatisfaction, they'll backtrack, they'll change. And generally, I think the idea that there's going to be a lot more of RPG content is probably likely to materialize after this September. I didn't feel there was that much since Shadowkeep. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but there isn't that much of a story mission in there. As expected, I thought there'd be many new characters, and well, let's wait and see. So this is for Sunsinger and the Crucible. That's something that we can try to do. Alright, so we've got all of this, and this other bit of kit is more powerful. It's 110. This one we can get rid of, and this one is 110 as well. We'll just wait until we get to the level 21. So let me think, what do we do next?
Okay.
Say we do that strike. We'll do one strike first, and then we'll do the Crucible, and probably... No, actually, we'll do the Crucible first and then end with a strike. That's the way it is going to be. Our Sunday streams are going to be always a bit shorter than the rest of the week. You will remember that from our past broadcasts. And Sunday's a day where people want to relax, do their own games, and in normal circumstances we go out and have our Sunday dinner, and I've not been able to have that since February, so it's almost 4 months really altogether. Let me work this out today. What's the date today? The 14th of June. The 14th of June, let me work this out. That would be 90 days on the 3rd. Yeah, day number 104. 104th day of my quarantine. So it's been a lengthy period. You really feel like you're serving a sentence, just like a one moment to stroll outside, and otherwise you're just completely stuck indoors. But thanks to the new technology, the time's been extremely productive. I was able to work on my streams, play lots of different games on Xbox Game Pass and also on PlayStation Now services, which I use very extensively. Buy hardly any games nowadays, I just literally use the services at all times to try everything out, and also worked on my film dialogue, cinema, film history hub, and watched lots of films. So it's been a very, very productive period, and obviously I felt the difference. Oh, somebody's saying something to us there. Let me see what they want. Dance a bit, maybe. Are we gonna sit down or not? Yeah, we can dance a bit, and then we can point them a bit. Let's see whether they want to sit down. I'm gonna sit down. Everybody is going to sit down now, I think. Let me see. Okay, we'll take a screenshot of this. Some nice sociable activity. And then we'll see, we'll say... No. We'll do that. So now that's really... Oh, that's set up. Our friends, and then we'll there. Let me see. We said we would do another strike and maybe a bit of a Crucible, but I think we'll start with the Crucible first. And before we do that, let me just see. Energy drain had to be applied there as well. Let me see whether we've got it, because perhaps I don't have it yet. Crucible and energy drain. Let's see whether we have it. Vortex surge, arcane spirits, angry, chaos order, bloom, vortex mastery, ancestral order, annihilate, arcane wisdom. Energy drain is equipped. So basically, it's the melee attack. We need to eliminate the enemies, but that's very difficult because I have really very poor upload speeds. I can't actually come close to the enemies, and this has been enabled. Okay, let me see this. Ancestral Order training focus on attributes, that's fine. Increases the range of Axion Bolt Seekers and the duration of the Vortex effect of Nova Bomb and Vortex Grenade. Yeah, that's all good. And what's the last one here? I'm curious. Axion Bolt, Scatter Grenade, Vortex. Okay, we'll keep Vortex. Vortex is better. Alright, so I think we are sorted, but they were asking us about Sunsinger, right? So Sunsinger needs to be used. But then on the other hand, I can't really use it because nothing's been unlocked. So I think I'll have to probably switch it on when you do some story missions. And presently we are going to be doing... Oh, what's this? I forgot to talk to somebody. Who wants to talk to us? Who wanted to talk to us in there? What is going on? I thought I've done it all. I missed out on somebody else. I'm not sure why. Talk to Akora. Can't be the speaker. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Not sure as to why I managed to miss this other NPC who was to talk to us. I just assumed that it was Ikora. I didn't really look up, but we need to see who else is there. Is it Eris, perhaps? Not sure. There was no one down on the lower deck. I didn't see anyone. So let's see who that is. Maybe Lord Shax. Master of Hull. Okay. Getting a reward, maybe.
From one scholar to another.
Guardian, I appreciate the chance to study your findings. I hope you're not too disappointed with some of these results. So I'm getting a package. Right, so it's 4 strange coin and 4 modes of light. That's pretty good. Right, so who else wants to talk to us? Come on. I didn't see anybody. I really didn't. I don't see any purple markers anywhere.
Eververse is open for business.
I will go around to see whether we are missing out on something, but I didn't think we were. Didn't see anything anywhere.
I don't care if the city supports us. All in line when the time's right.
Oh, here we are, here we are.
No, I'm quite certain that we've done everything with the speaker. Yeah, that's right. So who is it? If anyone, maybe just a glitch.
The city is incredible.
Fury of the world. Look at this. Fury of the world. So there's nobody in that. And surely there should be that move marker, stroke pointer clearly visible, but we don't see anyone out there either. We'll go downstairs, but we're just wasting my time. Maybe there's just literally nobody. Just simply this silly glitch telling us that there is something.
They feed on light.
Croy to Spain.
Stronger.
Lord Shax, Quartermaster.
What do you need?
Nothing at all, sir.
Earn your honor, Guardian.
We'll see what he's got. Crucible Quartermaster. Legendary marks. Need to rank up with the Crucible as well to get any weapons from him, so we are really right at the beginning in there. Well, as you see, there is nothing, so this must be a glitch. Hang on, I didn't go there though. Maybe Amanda.
Hesperus, Venus on Venus.
Maybe we need need to get a new ship. I'm not sure.
You deserve the Vanguard.
Vanguard Quartermaster. Can buy some materials
Good
from him.
morning, Guard.
Remember that.
Good evening, Guardian.
Don't actually need anything. C110. Automatic rifle. Sidearm pulse rifle. Well, I could do with that Saurus actually. We'll pick this up.
The tools of the
Saurus will
Vanguard.
do. We'll try that. But not at the moment, that's really pretty. And I think I enabled my fully automatic. Yeah, I did. Stranger's rifle. So this weapon really performed quite well. I remember Sekapupu saying the Stranger's rifle was very useful when enabled with this perk, and on PlayStation I didn't have it with that perk, and therefore it was, you know, less effective.
The armory is always open to you. Updating hunter profiles.
Got some schematics, if you're
Let me see.
hell of a...
That's a glitch, we just forget it now. I'm not going to be... Is Zer there? We can't actually speak to him. Didn't see him there. It's a black cloak, and being up here it could be totally concealed. Well, going to be that stripe. Up in the air, we go to orbit. And then we'll choose strike that indeed was spotted earlier on. It's one of those that appear to be quite challenging early in the game. Okay, look at the map. Vanguard. Strike playlist. Still locked, isn't it? No, it's not actually. Okay. Normal. I'll go back to it just for a moment, because for a moment I thought we couldn't really access these yet. Vanguard Legacy. Okay, we'll do that. I was gonna actually choose one of the strikes that won the map, but we've not done any Vanguard Legacy strikes as yet, and that will be again a bit of a novel activity on our first run here on the Xbox. Pretty good so far. So the first strike is just about to commence. Get ready for some fierce action, and we'll probably squeeze in a few strikes, well, a couple more strikes if we race through them. Otherwise we'll call it a day at 1 o'clock today. Current Destiny streams are 4 hours long. They start at 10 and at 2. That is 1000 and 1400 BST, in other words 10 AM to 2 PM UK time. And on Sunday our sessions are to be shorter, so that's 3 hours of Destiny. Beautiful weather there. I want to get some fresh air in our local nature reserve, far, far, far away from everyone. I don't want to be meeting anyone whilst I'm out for my stroll. I've seen very little sunlight and daylight for 104 days, and on the days where I went out it had to be really like today, and I had to be far from everyone. Okay, Grimoire card acquired, because we are starting out.
Story is they raided the prison of elders in the reef, got an Archon priest. The Queen's bounty is high, so we know it's powerful. We need to hunt this thing down before they fully restore its soul.
We've done this the other day. It's a very good, enjoyable strike. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have anybody else, just me. And therefore it will be quite tricky.
We'd better head for the caves.
We better head for the caves. Roger that. Summon vehicle. We're doing alright with the achievements here on Xbox as well, and that's pretty good. It's a bit different to what we had on PlayStation. So this is better, so I do not need to be pressing the trigger again and again. Some of that ammunition. I remember Sakafupa using this weapon quite a lot, in fact. Automatic. This is exactly what I'll do. Should have been with this grenade. Why? What a captain, I know. He still lives! I don't believe it. He was too strong. He really was. He was too strong for this. Maybe they just raised the bar because this is one of the strikes, like a Vanguard strike, but he seemed too strong to me.
Vex, what are they doing in here?
Oh. Plenty of ammunition. Well, he survived. That's too bad. He shouldn't have done. Why was he there? Boo. It's resisting our fire. I don't know what killed me. A goblin. That's too bad, really. Looks like they were tweaked, you know, they're a bit more difficult. Because Vanguard strikes are not as difficult as Seavers.
What are they doing in here?
Another one. Oh, I see. This is just the one I didn't see before. Coming out of that water. Soaking up. Remember, with the Vex, it's always the milk spot to make sure that you hit them precisely. They explode then. You turn them into milk. 81. Okay, we'll use our super, I think, there. Go back. He needs to milk. He became milk. Okay, some engrams. So that's pretty good. We have somebody else popping in. Hello, how are you doing? Let me see what our friend said. I'm just going back in order to be able to talk to you. We have Noah Crumb. Hello Noah, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're healthy, safe and well. And Noah is asking, what console are you on? Are you on Xbox 360? No, I am on Xbox One. So I'm not on 360, and in fact there is a glitch in here because I was not able to access my DLC content on Destiny the Collection. Not sure what's causing it, but I think it's to do with the old codes which are not really recognized by the system. I guess you are on 360, Destiny 1, and it's exactly the same game really, the way it's been released on 360 and Xbox One, no difference. But I have Destiny 1 on both consoles. We've done a major lengthy run of Destiny, 1500 hours of it on PlayStation, and we've gone to Xbox because of the news that came out of Bungie on Monday. And the news obviously that Destiny 1 is going to be fully integrated with Destiny New Light in September, and therefore we are doing another run of Destiny starting from bottoms up, you know, like literally we want everything to start from the very beginning, and we want our characters to be fully experienced through the progression and the difficulties and all the other things that you are having as you're doing it from the very beginning. I had altogether 6 runs of Destiny back to back. 3 on obviously separate characters and then 2 on the story missions during the last couple of years, and this is the 7th run of the story missions, and in this instance it's the 2nd run, so that we start building our characters from the very beginning. Alright, so we need to go up there. I hate him, and I need to use my grenade on him. So you can see the captains are tweaked. They're a lot stronger, because this is a strike. And this is the first strike we are doing here. At the moment this is. We need to really get the milk. And we did. Oh, he lives. This is surprising. Thought this was a perfect bang-on shot there with our friend, but it didn't happen. It's funny because we just played this mission.
If the Fallen are already fighting off Vex, they'll be ready for us. The Archon Priest will be well protected.
Oh no, it's the Archon Priest rather than that Kel. Let's see. Okay, I did pick up some ammunition, so that's not bad. Be able to hit them from high above. It's just getting back to Noah. The actual gameplay here on Xbox One is very similar to what you would have had on 360. Very little difference. Well, what do you know? In this instance the sniper is not very powerful. It takes 2 shots, actually. Was able to get a milk shot, but sustained some damage. Here as well. Doesn't look like we would have anything else in these quarters. Ah, his milk was well concealed. Do it again. And another. And another. That was good. 3 precise milk shots. And some heavy ammunition, which is going to be useful. Actually, we'll do it here. And then where is he? It's ridiculous. How did I miss? Okay, that worked. Remember, Minotaurs need to be always eliminated as early as possible. As well as the captain's milk. Okay. See anybody else down here? Possibly. You can hear some of the other ones. Some of the other ones are there. Right, so time to go up.
We'll need to get through. I'll check it out.
Playing the ghost.
It's locked down. Just give me
I
some
want to say to Noah also, in addition to what I said earlier, that the gameplay on Xbox One is identical to Xbox 360, but it is looking a bit different compared to PlayStation, and that's because of its quality graphics. I'm doing it on Xbox One X, and it's really much superior on the visual front, and less glitchy. I mean, significantly less glitchy, I'd say. Probably use that super. See, this melee is not really all that powerful. Milk. He survived. And I didn't, and that's really infuriating. That really is ridiculous. I really should have not died in there. I've taken too long though, that's the reason. I've taken too long. We'll do this a bit differently. This is a slight glitch actually. You always need to pull up your ghost when you approach some of the areas where he needs to be doing scanning,
Just give me some time.
otherwise it doesn't pop up all by itself. Well, that was again a bit slow, but I have to say that the enemies are very strong in here. I'm surprised. You wouldn't expect it. Oh, well, I know what they are. It's Vanguard Strike, and I'm really just level 20. That's the reason. If we were level 400, then it would be a different story. That's the reason. Okay, deploy Ghost. Okay. And now I've lost some of my rockets. Not as powerful as I was. Trying to get his milk there and failing. Best. Not going to be adventurous in there, I'll just keep it quiet. That was ridiculous. Where did that rocket go? Turning out to be more difficult than expected. This is a challenge. Well, as you could see, this is a strike I'm doing it by myself because there was no one out there. The game didn't select anybody else. That will make it a bit more difficult. Never mind. We'll get through it. Sign this.
It's lockdown time.
Ammunition.
Just give me some time. Otherwise. Wrong. It's like my super didn't kill him. Well, he nearly got me. It's the fact. Shouldn't be able to reach me here.
to get him. Surprise, surprise. Need some ammunition. Oh no, no. Holding my position here safely. Snipers in there. See them there. Missed him. That was like a bang-on milk shot and he didn't die. Stay in cover. Still not gone. I waited for too long. Oh no. Oh no. No. A bit rusty in here. Needs to be said. Now I gotta be fighting those beasts yet again, and I don't have any heavy ammunition. Oh, it's good fun, really. It's a bit more challenging and providing us with a lot more entertainment.
Just give me some time.
Wrong way. He must not be coming that close to me. I'll be killed straight away otherwise. My super did well there. All kind of with hardly any life, but I think this section is a bit more difficult than, the final one. Okay, where's the ghost? Alright. Try this again, but I don't have my super. Oh no, it's not.
It's locked down tight. Just give me some time.
3 Minotaurs there is to deal with a team of 3, which is what I don't have at the moment, and that's most annoying. Okay, we need to see whether we can have some more powerful weapons. I don't think we have. It's the best weapon I've got at the moment. My legendary. Any other legendary weapons?
It's lockdown time. Just give me some time.
Defense. More defense. Okay. So I missed him completely. Where's the other one? Both of them there are really strong. Grenade did a bit of justice, not a lot. Ah, go away. Hit him 6 times, so many rounds. Well, that will take a bit of time, but looks of it. Let's see, I've got some messages coming in. Thank you for supporting our stream, really appreciate it. As always, I need to work out with my current kit what else I can do there. Okay, that is 105, 124. Try 105. 110, 105. Okay. 110, 110, that's all 110. 110 others. And 122. 105. What have I got there? Saros. That's probably the best I've got. I can't really use any other artillery or anything else. Minotaurs are coming up to the top. Okay, so we'll do grenade first. very quickly go up there because 3 of them together and I'm going for breakfast. Ideally they'd be like together for me to hit them with my super, but it's not happening yet. Missed him the first time around, as you've seen. Two of them. Well, I think the way it looks is I will need a third teammate in here to progress. I don't want to be obviously wasting everyone's time and doing it again and again. We need a third, well, we need three people in there in order to do this successfully. Otherwise I could be flogging this for hours, and that's not what I want to do on this lovely sunny Sunday out there. So what we'll do is we'll just go back to the tower, we'll see if there's any admin for us to do, and then we'll call it a day for today. And as you could see, the Vanguard strike is very difficult if you're doing it by yourself, and particularly if you're having some poor quality weapons, if you're like level 20. And as we know, we need to reach the level 40 in order to be very powerful. 4400 is basically the best combination here on all 3 characters. It looks to me like hardly anybody is doing the strikes on Destiny 1, because previously, even 6 months ago, we would always get at least 2 or 3 people coming in, and everyone's gone to Destiny New Light for, well, Gambit, the Crucible, strikes and everything else. And that's very disappointing. And Sekapupu's here. Hello Sekapupu, I'm just about to end my broadcast for today. Our Sunday broadcasts are like 3 hours long compared to the rest of the week, when we are getting 4 hours at present. And yeah, that's right, there is a glitch on the scan. Xbox does have this glitch. Anytime you come to any piece of equipment that requires scanning, what you need to do is to pull out your Ghost on Xbox, and once you pulled out your Ghost, you kind of escape, and then you will have the X button popping up. It will not come up by itself like what you get in on PlayStation. So that's happening all the time, and that's basically one of those things you get here on Xbox. But actually the gameplay is a lot better on Xbox than on PlayStation. It's smoother, it's better quality graphics, there are hardly any glitches, and everything just seems to be absolutely top notch. So I've been really enjoying it and loving it so far. And as you could see, there's hardly anybody doing the strikes, and I've done a couple of strikes early in the week, and again I was doing them by myself, and they turn out to be quite challenging, as I have really very few good weapons. My armor is not particularly good, and as you can see here, it's all kind of fairly lame, with the exception of this weapon. And I was actually saying this earlier, but I think you weren't on at that time. you really like the Stranger's Rifle, and I remember you using it in Destiny 1, and I was trying to get this one, the Stranger's Rifle with full automatic, and I couldn't get it. And in this instance I picked it up straight away. I think it was given to me as reward by one of the NPCs, and I got it really with full automatic. I've been using it and it's very useful at this stage of the game. And Sekapupu said you can actually skip that by using the glitch. Well, if you're doing the game by yourself on your own console, if you're not streaming and if you have no viewers, then that's alright, but you will know from my broadcast I never ever use any glitches to skip any content, because that would be like cheating, and cheating obviously is not something that is perceived as really good by the viewers, because people watch my channel for two reasons. One reason is to learn how to do certain things, because the whole channel is run as a tutorial, and that tutorial is run both by myself and most importantly by my community members. So people popping in will be actually helping out both me and everyone else. And then on the other hand, people come in for the social interaction, for the community content, and that's just about it. And I really stick to those rules at all times, and it's always good fun. Just want to say that on Xbox this weekend they have Rainbow Six and Soul Calibur free of charge. It's like free play days, so if you want to be trying out Soul Calibur, you can just download it for free, and it's available for a free trial until I think 2400 hours today. And there's Rainbow Six Siege, and there's a third game as well. Can't remember what it is. Another game that I played quite a lot. So it's really a very good weekend. They actually throw in Rainbow Six Siege every couple of months as a freebie for people to try, one of the most popular tactical shooters. I want to ask Sekapupu, are you playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Warzone, or PUBG? Because I was looking for a teammate to be part of my squad, and PUBG had really performed badly on Xbox while streaming, so I've really kind of discontinued with my PUBG streams at the moment, because I need to work out what causes all the problems. It was extremely laggy and causing me all kinds of problems. I got actually killed many times, and purely by being hit on my path, and the lag was like 2 seconds lag. So I watched the enemy's skill cam. I could see that he was hitting me way behind, and I got killed instantly, which is really infuriating. No point of really entering a tactical shooter, which is obviously there with a competitive streak, where you can just be seen as a complete weakness to your team. But I need to work out what the reason for that is, because I think PUBG is performing badly on Xbox, and I've heard people say that before. I played it on all other platforms, and I got to say that PC obviously performs the best, and Android is the second best, and then the consoles. Alright, so we've come to the end of our broadcast for today. What we'll do is we'll just do a bit of admin to polish everything off. And well, it'd be good if Sekapupu also had Destiny on his Xbox, because obviously you can pop in and join me. We can really do some of the missions together as usual. And I'll be doing all of my 3 characters here on Xbox, literally from the ground up. And there'll be a lot of work to be done here on them all. But the other problem I had was with the installation of the game. They changed the things, Bungie did, and my redeem codes for the collection didn't register properly. So today we played. It's really bizarre. We started out today on House of Wolves, and we played I think 1 or 2 missions, and then on the third one it told me I need the expansion, so I couldn't progress forward. So I don't know what's going on. We played some of them, and then the other ones were blocked. So I need to contact Bungie to find out really what the problem is, and if the problem is to be persisting, what we'll do next week is we'll do Destiny 2 for a while until this is resolved, because I've got a brand new Destiny, the collection, and the DLC codes obviously didn't register properly, or that there's some sort of mismatch somewhere. It's been reported on Bungie and other online forums, so I'm hoping to receive a quick remedy. I just need to get some responses from them. Let's see what they've got here. Some engrams, I think, to be decoded. 2 of these. and we can immediately see what these are like. 130, okay, so that's a lot more powerful. The other one is no longer necessary. What was the other engram? On the primary, 105 scout rifle. No, it's not really particularly good. Another one, 112, we'll keep the other one on. 109 light level 21, so it was fairly fast. Within what, 5 days we progressed from 0 to 109. I'm very, very happy with the gameplay we've had so far, and
I hope we helped.
I think that's probably it for today. That is what we have for you. And our stream was affected a bit by that DLC glitch, so we couldn't really continue with House of Wolves DLC, which is what we began doing today, and so far it's been very enjoyable. And also, as you know, we completed the game, the base game, yesterday after the final endgame mission of the Black Garden was finalized on successfully, and I have to say it did look and it did sound better than on PlayStation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very crisp and clear and sharp, and you know, the sound was really much superior. And generally the Xbox version is less glitchy. I found lots of glitches on PlayStation, and you would have been familiar with, for instance, the markers not showing and various other things in there, but in this instance it actually performs really, really well. We just need to find a reason for those redeem code glitches as to why the DLC didn't register properly, as it is a brand new Destiny D Collection version of the game. Alright, my friends, we've come to the end of our broadcast for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I thank everybody who participated. We've had quite a few people coming in on different platforms. Very grateful for that. What we are trying to do at the moment is to kind of get our communities together from various platforms. That includes PCs and Android and Xbox and PlayStation, and we also want everybody to prepare for September, when Destiny 1 is migrating to Destiny New Light. We'll have story missions fully accessible through the Destiny universe. Destiny will take a different shape. We'll have the entirely different concept, and definitely the one which we can be viewing as fully evolved or fully evolving, coming to the level where Destiny in fact should have been right at the beginning, according to that development team. So we're all looking forward in the anticipation of September. If you are very keen, you can already pre-order the new content, and therefore just enjoy both the original game or indeed the New Light. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing before 22nd of September. So on that note, I shall wish you all a very, very happy, healthy, safe and sunny afternoon, and I shall look forward to seeing you all tomorrow when our adventures in Destiny 1, or Destiny World I should say, will resume at 10 o'clock in the morning. Until then, I wish you all a very, very good afternoon.